All right, time for Michelangelo. Michelangelo sculpted his first sculpture at only age 15. That's not much older than you guys. It was called the David. He also sculpted Moses and the Pieta, which is this one right here. Notice the folds in the fabric, how detailed it is. In comparison to the Middle Ages, it's very realistic. When we talked about Leonardo da Vinci, we talked about realism and how they wanted things to be real, like life. So bodies are proportional. They make a little more sense. Also, Michelangelo, he really liked sculpting. He didn't want to paint. He had zero desire to paint, but he really enjoyed sculpting. However, he did paint the Sistine Chapel, which we looked at a little bit yesterday. The Sistine Chapel is huge. There are over 100 people or characters. It was on the ceiling of a church. It took over 4 years to finish. And he really didn't want to do it, but he was kind of forced to by the Pope. And again, we've talked about how powerful the church is at this point in time. Saying no to a Pope, who is the top leader of the church at this point, was probably not a good idea for him. So he painted the Sistine Chapel, even though he just wanted to be a sculptor. And it wasn't easy. Some of you got that experience when you practiced in our rooms by laying under your desks and working on your masterpiece like Michelangelo. Here are a few pictures of what he might have looked like. Again, we talked about how it would have been really uncomfortable and he would have had paint all over him, or he would have been laying down on some scaffolding. And lastly, I promised I would tell you about the Ninja Turtles. So we have Leonardo da Vinci, Raphael, Michelangelo, and Donatello. Here's the story of the Ninja Turtles. So once upon a time, there were two guys who were cartoonists. They created cartoons or drawings for a living. And they were goofing around, hanging out one time, and one of them draws a turtle, passes it to his friend. His friend takes the turtle and adds some ninja-like details, a mask, some nunchucks, things like that. And he passes it back to his friend. His friend calls it a Ninja Turtle and also adds Teenage Mutant and adds some other drawings around it, like the acid or whatever poison they find that turns them into a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. And eventually they created some cartoons out of it, kind of like a comic sketch. And they needed names for their Ninja Turtles. So one of the guys hanging out at their house, he has an old art history book. And he flips through, and they picked out some names from the art history book. And they just happened to be artists from the Renaissance, like Leonardo and Raphael and Donatello and Michelangelo. So that is how you got the Ninja Turtles. Ta-da! Be sure to finish your notes. Email me if you have any questions. Bye!